There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Is it just me or is it like tilting? Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 118 of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 15th, I think. 12th, 13th, 14th. It might be the 14th. I don't know what day it is because I wrote something super weird on my thing, on my notes. I think it's the 15th, but I also don't know because I don't normally record on Wednesdays anymore. But because of vacation and everything, this podcast is gonna be a little bit weird. There's also a giveaway in this episode. There's the announcement of the fall garment make-along winners. There is so much going on, so I can't wait to get started. But this episode, I've recorded some of it previously because my intentions were that I would record all of the projects that I knew I wasn't going to bring with me on vacation here before I left, and I did that. And then I was planning to record the rest of the podcast while I was away, and I did not do that. So now I'm back in New York and I'm going to record the rest of the podcast. So basically you're gonna see me here sitting here twice with two different outfits on, and one was filmed a week ago. That's just the way it is. Sometimes I have the best of intentions and it just doesn't work out. We have another trip coming up soon, and so I'm gonna plan better for that one. Okay, slight interruption. Where were we? Anyway, it's gonna be a goofy episode, lots of exciting things going on. So I think that the first thing, because we always start with finished objects, is, oh, we haven't talked about the weather. This is gonna be super wacky. It's really nice today and beautiful and sunny. Actually, you should just take a look. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Whoa. Whoa. Is it just me or is it like tilting? Maybe that was just me. We'll see when I watch it back. So it's a beautiful sunny day. It's pretty warm today. It's like in the 80s, I think, which it's been cooler than that, so that's why that feels so warm. And I think it's supposed to rain tonight and cool off a little bit more, which is great because I like it when it's like nice and in the 70s, or like in the 60s in the morning, the 70s during the day. It's like perfectly warm but not too cold, so that's really, really nice. Anyway, the first thing that I always talk about is my finished objects, and I actually have a finished object this week, but I finished it before I left on my vacation, so let me send you back in time for the first finished object and a few whips, and I'll see you again in a second. Okay, pretty sure I just knocked the camera there. But we are literally getting ready to go on the trip that you're already seeing me on. Lots of time warp going on here. But there were several things that I worked on in the past week that I wanted to get to show you, and it just didn't make sense to bring them, like pack them just to show you, because I'm trying to be very limited and picky about what I actually bring with me on vacation so that I can focus and so that I don't overpack and just like have too many choices and not actually get anything done. So I want to show you a couple things that I'm leaving here in New York. The first is a pair of socks that I just finished. These I started a while ago, but they just like all of a sudden knit up super quick. The yarn is from Biddy Knits, who is in Atlanta, and the main color is Ocean Air and the contrast color is Lemonade. I had like 75 grams of yarn left over after I finished these, which is insane. I need to start buying like 50-gram skeins, or just like always winding off 50 grams and setting it aside because I don't need all this sock yarn. But anyway, I knit these a little differently. So I don't know if you can tell, I've got them on two different size sock blockers. That is because after many, many years, I've finally decided to adjust my sock formula, and this is the first pair that I was doing that with. So I knit one sock in my regular manner, cast on 60 stitches, did 40 rounds for the leg, fish lips kiss heel, 65 rounds for the foot, and my square toe. Nothing special. Then this one, I actually took the time to do some experimenting. And I realized that I have been making my socks much too large in certain areas, much too small in other areas. And I went through and I adjusted so many things. And this is just my very first one. So you can just see the difference. I don't know if you can tell. Here, I can put this one in front. The difference in size of these two socks is pretty significant. Significant, for sure. And the new one fits like a glove. It fits way better. I can't wait to share more with you soon about this because I just can't, like, I can't keep this to myself. I just want to share all of the things, but it's like, it's too much just to share on a podcast. So I'm putting something together and I'm so excited. But anyway, I just want to share with you that I'm finally changing things up, and it's making me, like, I already love socks. I have no issues loving socks, but now I'm like ready to knit socks at warp speed. Like, I want to try all these things with socks. So stay tuned, but know that more is coming on that. And I have a finished pair of socks for September, and I've already started a new pair, but that will be coming here in a little bit. Now, the other project that I have 3 sweaters going, and I was like, 3 sweaters is too many to take on a 6-day trip, 5-day trip. I don't know, something like that, because it's just too much yarn to bring. Like, I just don't want to have all that around. Plus, I really needed to work on my other sweater, so I decided to leave my long summer cardigan here, but it's looking really, really good. I don't know if I've done all that much since I last recorded, because now that we're at a point in the long summer cardigan class where we're not really like knitting through to new parts, I've kind of just slowed down on this and started focusing on my other sweaters. But I just started adding in the 3rd color here, which I know looks a lot like this one, but it is actually different. It's a beautiful fade. So I really haven't done all that much on this one. And I still can't even show you, you know what? Yes, I can, because I'm going to back this up because I wasn't really ready to do this. So let me back this up real quick, but I want to share with you 2 things. One, I'm going to try this on and show you what it's looking like, but I just need to back these stitches up. And 2, I want to share with you a tip. I did already share this on Instagram, but I think it's really helpful, and some people gave me even more suggestions. I love it when I share something and like people give even more tips on that topic, or like reasons when it's helpful, things that I would never ever think of. And that's what's so cool about the online knitting community, is there's so many people out there that have different experiences and can help you so much. It's so cool. So let's try this on real quick. Oh, you know, I keep forgetting if I've done this already. Maybe I did try it on something. Now that I'm doing it right now, I'm like, didn't I try this on for somebody on something? But you know what? I don't remember what it was, so we're gonna put it on here in the podcast. Hold on. Now I'm tangled up. Come on now. There we go. All right. So here we go. Here's my long summer cardigan. Not quite long yet. So this is a dropped shoulder sweater. So actually I need to get these shoulder seams like a little more on top. There we go, that's a little better. So it's a drop shoulder sweater, so you can see like it looks like it's dropping off the shoulders. It is designed that way. When you look at Hohi's finished sweater, her sleeves drop super far, like almost past this muscle, whatever it is, the shoulder, I don't know, whatever it is. And so I expect mine to do a little more dropping and blocking, and you can see it's pretty far out from the neck right now, but there is gonna be a neck band, and this part here actually has some shaping to it that it just can't stretch out because the needles aren't quite long enough. So when I was looking at armholes, because armholes are always an issue for me, I made sure to take into account that the armholes weren't going to be around the largest part of my shoulder, but more around the larger part of my arm. I still did add a little bit of length. I added about 1/2 inch, but you can see that that's looking really comfy, and it should stretch out to about like that, which is more than enough space for me to feel very, very comfortable without being too bunchy and everything. So I just think it's gonna look so gorgeous once I get all those pink colors in here. I am so excited. So this is going to be going on the back burner just a little bit for my other 2 sweaters, since the other 2 are Rhinebeck related, and Rhinebeck is just a month away. Less than that when you're watching this. But here's my tip for you. So the first 2 colors of this fade are very light, and then as you start to go down the line a bit, things get a little harder to distinguish. When they were in the hanks, they were really easy to see the different colors. Maybe not really easy, but once you got them all sat next to each other, you could put them in order, no problem. Once they're in cakes, they are much harder to tell apart. So here's 3 that are, you know, 1, 2, 3, well, there are 4, 5, 6, but they're very, very close. So I have all of these little like cardboard tags, so I just decided to use those instead of plastic bags. I was gonna use snack size Ziploc bags, write the number on the snack size bag and put this in there, but it didn't quite fit because they're 50 gram skeins. So instead, I decided to use these tags. I have them on a rubber band, and I put the rubber band around the outside of the cake. Somebody else suggested you could even take light bulb stitch markers and put on there like 1 light bulb stitch marker, like literally on to like grab a hunk of yarn, 1 light bulb stitch marker for the first color, 2 for the second, stuff like that. I've also seen where people have taken like kind of cut up smaller pieces of cardstock or index cards, written on there, and then just pinned them with a light bulb stitch marker, the numbers onto the yarns. This is super helpful for fades because it's really can be hard to see once they're in a cake. And then Whitney, who actually dyed this yarn, sorry, this is Moon Glow Yarn Company. Moon Glow. I love using this base. It's 80/20, and the main color, the gray, is Aspen. Everything else is the Love and Stitches Fade Kit. Okay, sorry about that mild interruption, but Whitney, who actually dyes this yarn, she said that you can also use this trick, like labeling the cakes, when you're alternating 2 of the same color, because sometimes it can get hard. You can forget like which skein you use last. So I'm alternating right now between these 2, but it's really easy to tell because this one has way less in it. Plus, I'm alternating and reattaching right away. So whichever one is still attached to the sweater, that's the one I'm about to cut and not use, and the one that's not attached is. But if you're like getting to the point where both are detached from the sweater, that can be super helpful. So I just wanted to share that tip because I thought that was a really good one that can be very helpful. Like all the way over. The sun is setting. I usually record in the morning, and I'm recording in the evening. It's just so pretty outside. I love it. Okay, 2 more things to show you. One is my Lume sweater. I am using wool stock that I got from McKinney Knittery in Texas. I had them send it to me. If you're looking for this yarn and your local yarn store doesn't carry it, you can get it from McKinney. You can also get it from Bliss Yarns, my original local yarn store. I'm using 2 colors. I'm using cast iron for my gray, my main, and I'm using quartz crystal. Where is it? Quartz crystal. Come on now, focus. Focus. Yeah, quartz crystal for my contrast color. This is the inside. What a mess that is. But let me flip it. So I shared this tip last podcast, but I just want to share it again just in case, you know, you probably don't watch every episode. So, and that's more than fine. I don't watch every episode of every person. So I'm assuming that you don't either. So if you missed that tip, this was from one of my Love and Stitches members. They suggested this to me, to knit the Colorwork inside out so that you have a little more space to stretch out those floats. And I have to say, this is an excellent, excellent tip, and it really has helped. Whereas opposed to when you have, you know, and I know some people knit that way anyway, but most of the time when I'm knitting in the round, I have the right side facing out, and you wouldn't have quite as much room. Like, you just get a little more stretch when you have that flipped, or maybe it's just mentally, but I think it's a great tip. Also, I am using a larger size needle on my Colorwork because I swatched, and my swatch said so. It said your stockinette is bigger than your Colorwork, so you need to go up a size for your Colorwork. And the pattern suggests that as well. So I did my due diligence, and that's what I did. All right, so I have been really focusing on this project. I really wanted to get the yoke completely done and to the underarms so that I could bring this sweater with me, just working on the body. That did not happen, and that's totally fine. That's why I'm gonna bring my other sweater with me and really work on that throughout my trip. But I did a ton of knitting in the past few days, and I'm so pleased with how much I've gotten done. I keep dropping stitches off the needles here, just trying to show you. So this is looking so cool, isn't it? Colorwork is amazing. It's so fun to watch it come to life. And I know this looks very bell-shaped, but it's got like, it's a circular yoke. I just haven't changed the needle size any bigger, but I think it's gonna be so pretty. I'm so excited. So I will be blocking this, or at least trying it on before I finish it, because I don't think I have any danger of the yoke being too small. I think I've done everything I can to make sure these floats are nice and loose. So I think that part's okay, but I just want to make sure that everything is going well as far as sizing, because I'm just not very familiar with circular yokes at all. So I am planning to finish the Colorwork, separate for the arms, knit a couple inches, and then put everything on waste yarn and block it. I might put everything on needles first and try it on, and then I guess if it's like not too big, not too small, I might just keep going. But if it's like, I'm not sure, I'm gonna block it. I guess the blocking part I'm not sure about yet, but I'm definitely gonna get everything, you know, at the sleeve split and try it on. Stay tuned. That's my plan. So I'm gonna leave this one here in New York City as well. And now I'm gonna send you back to present day me to show you the rest of my whips. All right, we're back in real time, and I have a few more whips to show you. Well, a couple more whips to show you. This is a brand new one. It's a new pair of socks, and it is in my Black Pearl Magic bag. I have been loving these lately, pretty much just using Black Pearl Magic and then my float totes. But I am knitting on a new yarn. This is the first time that I'm using Ruby and Roses. And this colorway is called Bundle Up, but I tried really hard not to rip this, but I did. Bundle Up, and then I have a mini called Conifer. Is that how you say that? Maybe so. So I've got these in my 50-gram yarn cozies, and I have my 20-gram mini and my 20-gram yarn cozy, which works out great, and they fit nicely into my bag. And I've got Halloween, Progress Keepers. I think this one is from Simply Serving. That one's saved for the next sock. I haven't cast on the second sock, but I have cast on the first sock. I don't know why I'm showing you that. And I have done quite a bit on it. So I cast this on like just before going on my trip last week, but I actually didn't work on it that much on the trip because I had another project that I was working on. So this marker is just from, I guess, the last day that I worked on it. I was moving my Progress Keeper every day. That's so cute. It's a T-Rex, get it? T-Rex. But this yarn is working up really, really nice, and I am continuing to try to master a new sock formula that is going to really fit my foot and leg like really well. I'm very pleased with my first prototype that came out. So now I'm testing a few new things, like a different cast on. I did the German twisted cast on and just some other things to get just my perfect fit. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm actually going to make these a little bit longer. So as you can see, I've got my light bulb stitch markers in here. I put these every 20 rounds, and normally I would stop right here, but I'm gonna add another 20 rounds and see how I like that, if I like a little bit of a longer leg. Since I do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, it doesn't add quite as much height when you get down to your heel, so it kind of makes like short socks even shorter. So I'm adding a little extra length. But anyway, I will continue to report on the progress of that. Let me move my marker here, because I should be working on these a lot this weekend. I might go ahead and start the second sock too. That's why I like to wind my sock yarns into 2 different balls so that I have that. All right. My other project is also in a Black Pearl Magic bag, but this one is in this sparkly star vinyl. This bag is great. I did not bring it with me on the trip because it's such a large bag and it doesn't really, like, I don't want to squish it and mess with the shape or anything. So I had this project in a smaller bag, but it has since outgrown it, so it'll probably stay in this bag. Oh, and look at the rainbow zipper. It's so cool. I think I did show that bag last week, but it is showing up really nicely today with the way that the sun is and everything. Okay, so this is my Bellish sweater, but we are officially calling it the Butter Swatch sweater, and that's because when I first talked about it on Instagram, I used Instagram captions, like the feature, and I didn't correct it because I said Better Swatch. I was talking about my swatch, and the caption said Butter Swatch, and I just thought that was cute, and so I'm like, Butter Swatch, that's what we're gonna use. So the yarns I'm using for this are Miss Babs Kunlun, which is a DK weight. It is, I always forget, merino wool, cashmere, and silk. Very nice. But I didn't love the way it looked by itself, so I have added a mohair. This is Madeline Tosh. It's got silver, blue, and pink, and yeah, Madeline Tosh. The label is halfway gone because they had to like tape it on there really good. But this color is called Knitty City Lights. So Knitty City is a yarn store about 2 miles away from me here in New York City, and I love that it's like Knitty City Lights because City Lights New York City, so it's really cool. So I'm holding these 2 yarns together to make this sweater, and the pattern is half. I'm using the Bellish app, which is an app for the iPhone that you can design your own like sweaters. You can do adult sweaters, baby sweaters, hats, socks, and is that it right now? They're always adding new things and like new stitch patterns and everything, but I'm using that because I'm not a sweater designer to get all of my numbers, how many inches, how many stitches, all of that, and the basic sweater formula. But then I am changing a lot of different things about it, which is what's so fun about having Bellish as a pattern template, but you can still customize things. So what I am using is the drop shoulder cardigan pattern for worsted weight. And I basically, if it said knit 2 inches of ribbing, I said okay, but then I changed the ribbing to 1 by 1 instead of 2 by 2. I also did a tubular cast on. That's why the cast on looks so like what I think of as like store-bought, professional, if you will. And then I changed the stitch pattern. I'm just using a broken rib. I have all of these like in really detailed notes in my Ravelry project page, by the way. And then I added an edging. So last time you saw this sweater, it was like just past the ribbing, and now look at it. It's huge. I have done all of the body. I have just split off for the front here, one of the fronts, and I just started doing decreases on the front. It's a V-neck, so it's like neckline decreases. The sweater is a very simple shape. There's no shaping in it. There's no shaping at the armhole. There's no shaping at the back. So it's just super simple, which is great for beginning sweater knitters. But I'm just adding my own pizzazz. So the other thing I added, and again, I've got my notes on Ravelry if you want to mimic this, because I am not planning to make this into a pattern. I've already gotten asked that. I'm like, no. I am just putting it onto my Ravelry page, so I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I have added an edging, an applied edging, because I don't want my cardigan to have a button band or buttons. I also don't really want it to close, and this cardigan is designed so it like overlaps in the front. So basically I did the same stitch count. I did an odd number instead of an even number, so one less stitch. And I have done this applied edging. Is it focusing? There it is. It looks like an I-cord, and it pretty much is, but it's the way that you create it is with like double knitting. So see how I have a marker here and I have 5 stitches there, but you can only see like 3 knit stitches. What you do is you do knit, bring the yarn forward, slip with yarn in front, yarn back, knit, bring yarn forward, slip one with yarn in front, bring yarn back and knit. So it's like alternating knit one, slip one with yarn in front, and then in between the markers I work the regular pattern, and then when I get to the other side I do the same thing. So here in the middle of my cardigan, this is a cardigan by the way, I guess that's obvious now. In the middle of my cardigan, what will be meeting in the front, I don't have to come back after and pick up stitches and do a button band. It's going to be totally finished for me. That's what I wanted to do, so it would be faster, so it would look cleaner, and I just didn't want to do ribbing around the edge of the sweater. I want it to be really simple. So all of those notes are on my Ravelry page, and I am hoping, I took this and pretty much worked on it completely, just this, on my trip, and I got a ton done. I'm really proud of myself, and I think it's looking so good and so cozy. I got a lot of compliments on it from knitting friends that I saw. They really enjoyed it. Oh, and I know that I asked y'all if you liked the right side texture or the wrong side better, and a lot of you said you liked the wrong side. But I am planning to wear it this way out. I'm really not planning to make it reversible because I don't want to fuss that much over my ends and making them invisible, but other than the ends it really could be reversible if you wanted it to be. Anyway, so this is the butter swatch sweater. It's turning out so cute. It's all I want to work on. I can't wait to finish one front and then the other. So some other modifications I'm making that I will add as I do them to Ravelry is I'm going to leave my stitches live at the fronts and the back so I can 3 needle bind off them together, because to me that's just easier and saves time and looks neater than sewing. I am going to leave the 5 stitches that are basically on either side on hold and then work them around across the back of the neck like an I-cord, so that that continues around. I'm thinking that will work just fine. So stay tuned. And then I will just have sleeves to do after that. So yeah, simpler than it sounds, but it's going really well. I'm absolutely loving this sweater. All right, I do have one acquisition from when I went to Texas and got some yarn at Knitty Natty. The North Texas yarn crawl was going on, and I did not really like plan on participating or anything. I just wanted to maybe go to one shop and see a friend, and so we ended up meeting at Knitty Natty, and there was a trunk show from Wonderluck Yarns, and so we went and looked at her beautiful yarns. She had all these really cool tweed, like rainbow tweed, so it was like a nice neutral color, and then the tweed like was different colors, multicolored tweed, maybe that's what it was called, but it was really cool. This color drew my attention. It is called Confetti, and she is a local dyer to Texas, so I was like, I just have to pick up one sock skein. Just one sock skein, that's it. So that's all I got. I feel like that was pretty good. I'm saving everything for Rhinebeck, and you know, I just wasn't in the shopping mood. I just went and shopped for my Shawlography shawl, so it's like I don't need to buy anything right now. I just want to kind of finish some projects. That's where my mood is anyway. All right, let's do some questions. We've got a lot of good ones this week. Let me scroll back to my first question. All right, question number 1 is from Nutty Knitter. I love the toddler sweater you designed and knit using the Bellish app, which I downloaded. I am using the app and your sweater design. I'm new to knitting garments and would really love if you did a video tutorial on how to knit the sweater. Is this something you can do for us newbies? That's a really good question, and I feel for you when you're like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. This is totally new for me. So here's the thing. Creating a video for a sweater would take so long. That is a lot of work. I guess that's the best word for it. That's a lot of work to knit for a video, and I don't give away my like I don't take my other designs and show you how to do everything for free on YouTube because of the work that it takes and goes into it. So that's not something I'm planning to do, but I know that there are lots of people out there that will put out elements of different things. That's why you're not seeing probably that many YouTube tutorials that are entire projects, because people maybe do that once and they're like, wait a second, this is a lot of work. Like, I need to sell this as a course or as a class or just include it in my patterns and I don't know, etc., because it is so much to do. So that's not something that I'm planning on doing, but there is stuff out there, and I do promise you that I will always share with you my current projects and what I'm learning, and potentially I will be putting out more tutorials and including stuff in there. But in the meantime, if you do need some help on a project or a sweater and you're not finding that the free content out there is enough, I do offer private lessons, and those I am going to give you fully committed, like a full hour or 30 minutes, whatever you need, and that is like the best help that I am able to provide. So hopefully that's helpful. That gives you a lot of different places to go, and just please understand that I'm saying no because it is a time value kind of thing, if that makes sense. I don't need to apologize for that. That's my answer. And you didn't ask it in a demanding way at all. I'm gonna stop talking now. Okay, next question. So this is from Stinkzilla. Hi Natalie, I'm knitting my first sweater. It's the featherweight cardigan, and there are going to be a ton of stitches to pick up along the front and neckline. Right now the knit edges of the body of the sweater are curling under, and I think it may make it hard to pick them up. Should I block the sweater and then pick up the stitches? I wonder if that might make it easier to pick them up. Would love your thoughts. I'm a great big fan and love the podcast. Thanks for any help on this, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. You always have the best questions. So I love the featherweight cardigan. That's a great first garment. And I'm so excited you're knitting your first garment during the fall garment make-along. So I have a couple thoughts on this. First, I will say I don't do this. I don't block things before doing like the finishing work, like picking up stitches, because I haven't found that it makes enough of a difference. In theory, that would help a little bit, but because stockinette curls, I don't think that it's going to help you that much. So when I'm picking up stitches on a stockinette edge, it's actually the easiest place to pick up stitches. It's harder when it's like garter stitch or there's decreases or there's other things happening. So what you'll do is kind of, as you start to pick up stitches, for the next like inch or so, you're just kind of like lifting up that curl, and that makes it easier. You just go like a stitch at a time. If you block it, I'm afraid you're still gonna have curl, and it's gonna be like an effort that's not needed, if that makes sense. So I would say no need to do it, but it might make it could make it a little easier. It could make your stitches a little more open. So up to you. It's not gonna hurt, but it might not help as much as you're hoping. There we go. I wouldn't do it myself. Next question is from Lisa Payne 2681. Love your podcast. You have inspired me to knit socks. Oh, yay! I have a question on how to fix a mistake I made. If you have any suggestions, I would highly appreciate it. Thanks in advance. My question is, I was putting in the yarn for an afterthought heel, and I knit completely in the round front and back. I didn't realize it until I went to put in the afterthought heel. Is there any way to fix the front of the foot? Lisa. Okay, Lisa, so I am guessing you were putting in waste yarn, right? You're putting in waste yarn to do the afterthought heel. Typically, you would work that, or what you intended to do, the right way, the right way to do it, not typically. You put in waste yarn for half of your stitches, which will be your heel stitches, so you knit a row like front, forward, and back, and some people do one more. I like to do two. Anyway, so instead, Lisa knit all the way around her sock, and so now she's got this waste yarn, right? So you have your waist yarn, it's probably a different color, so it doesn't look good on the front of your sock. If it was the same color, I'd just leave it, which I doubt it is. So here is what I would do. I would first knit your heel. Just do your heel, get it out of the way. Then you're gonna have to do pretty much the same thing with the front of the socks, where you put your needles in, you cut the waist yarn, and you pull it out. Wait, now I'm thinking, okay, so hold on, let me back up a little bit. When you cut the waist yarn for your heel and you pull those stitches out, leave like a tail on each side of the sock, because if you continue to take stitches out, it will be coming off the front of your sock, but you don't want those to come off yet. So just like leave waist yarn tails like a little bit long so that your stitches won't come out from the front of your sock. Finish your heel, that's done. Okay, now we're on the front of the sock. You should have half of your stitches on waist yarn with little tails sticking out. You'll do pretty much the same thing with your needles, you know, go in and pick up those stitches, take out the waist yarn, but this time instead of knitting a heel, because obviously you don't need two, you will take your original yarn, your main color, and graft those stitches together. Grafting is where you do this on the toe, right? It's also called Kitchener stitch, where you put together two pieces of knitting and it's seamless. So the great thing about this is as you're doing a row of grafting, it's a row of knitting. So you're basically taking out the waist yarn row and adding in a row of knitting, which will be an extra row in your sock, but honestly, it's not going to make a difference at all. So you'll basically just close that gap, and you'll probably need a little bit of yarn at each end. Like when you do your main color, you'll leave a tail. When you finish the grafting, you'll have a tail, and you can kind of like connect that to the heel, like to just kind of close things up so you don't have gaps. So heel first, leaving some waist yarn tail yarn so that your stitches don't just start coming off of the front of the foot, and then go to the front of the foot, start it the same way, but instead of doing any knitting or a heel, graft your stitches with the main color. I bet people have done that many, many times before. All right, next question is from Chris Faith. Hi Natalie, my name is Chrissy, and I got the idea to design a Minnie Mouse blanket for my daughter using the bobble stitch. I was wondering if I wanted to publish this pattern, would I be able to, since I didn't come up with the stitch, just how to use it this way. I've never made a pattern before and I wanted to make sure I wouldn't be doing anything wrong. Thank you for the help. Okay, Chrissy, so the bobble stitch is completely fine to use because in crochet, the bobble stitch, I'm guessing this is crochet, the bobble stitch is a super common stitch. It would kind of be like if I was worried, if I'm a knitter and I have ribbing in my pattern, if I'm like, can I use ribbing? It's just a basic stitch, so you're completely fine to use it. What I would be careful of is if you have been knitting or crocheting from a specific designer, don't copy their wording for how to do the stitch. Instead, you can use your own words, or you can even go to like, darn, what is that site? There's a site for crocheters, Stitch something. Anyway, it gives you all the basic stitches. You could use like that verbiage. Just make sure you're not copying the wording exactly from another designer. But the bobble stitch is a common stitch. Now, here's where you're probably gonna have a bigger issue is actually with the creation of something that is Minnie Mouse. Because Minnie Mouse is a licensed Disney character, you aren't actually allowed to sell anything as Minnie Mouse unless you are a licensed Disney seller. I know people do it all the time, but if you remember the Baby Yoda phase, there was lots of issues with Baby Yoda, and people were designing like cute little Baby Yoda stuffies, and you really can't say Baby Yoda or even say that it is Baby Yoda. Same thing with Minnie Mouse, because they're licensed characters. So you might be okay, but I definitely wouldn't call it the Minnie Mouse blanket because Minnie Mouse is not your licensed character. Same thing with like college football teams or professional teams. Like, you can't just take somebody's logo and use it as your own design. So that actually is probably gonna be a bigger issue than using the bobble stitch, which is not an issue at all. So just be careful with that. Just know that that's definitely a possibility. This question is from Yarn Stories Sophie. We are getting married in October and I have this romantic idea that I will knit my husband to be socks to wear on the day. Do you have any advice for knitting socks suitable to dress shoes, or is this a bonkers idea? Should I use a lighter weight yarn, or the fiber content of a yarn be a better adjustment? Thank you. Okay, Sophie, I love this idea. I don't think it's bonkers at all, especially because it's October, so it's probably gonna be a little bit cold. So I would definitely use fingering weight yarn. Most guys that I know that want socks, they actually want them as dress socks, and they're completely fine wearing them like as is. I'm sure they're a little thicker than like those really, really thin dress socks, so you might wanna have them ready in time for him to try them on with the shoes that he's gonna wear, just in case they're a little thicker, or maybe you're doing this as a surprise. I have no idea, but it really shouldn't be a problem. I would just use any sock, like fingering weight that's intended for socks, like a wool nylon blend, and that should be perfectly fine. I think that's a wonderful idea. Okay, I think, oh, this is the last one for today. Perfect. Okay, this one is from Irene Slethy. Uh-oh, that one was hard to pronounce. Hi Natalie, I love your positive channel and am currently binging your podcast episodes. Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry I don't know how to say your name, and please tell me how to say it. I just recently upgraded my YouTube to a premium membership just to test it and see if I love it enough to pay for it monthly. Oh, I'm very interested in that actually. However, I started to wonder how my premium membership with no ads might affect you as a creator. Do you make less money when people get YouTube Premium, or do you get some money from my membership fee anyway? Well, Irene, first of all, that is a very, very kind question of you to even think about that and to ask that. That's so nice to ask. So I think this is like something that is well known, but I'll just say this anyway. So on YouTube, one of the ways that people make money on YouTube and are able to make it their jobs, like me, is that we put ads in our videos. And so when you are watching an ad, you are like, that content creator is going to get some money from that. So content creators that you like, you know, that you really enjoy, you might be more inclined not to skip their ads. And people that you're just watching one time, you're like, skip, skip, skip. At least that's what I do. Anyway, but if you have YouTube Premium, you don't have ads on your YouTube. And the good news is that, yes, as content creators, we do get some money from YouTube Premium accounts. I don't know exactly how it works. If it's like, you know, money, like let's say Irene is watching, you know, the Knitty Natty channel and like several other channels the most. If those are the only channels that get, any percentage, or if it works like ads, like however many minutes you watch or something. But what I do know is that, yes, I do get a small portion of people who have YouTube Premium accounts. It's not that many people. So I would say I don't worry about your favorite content creators in this manner. Like, you're paying for YouTube and that is okay. Like, you are getting the benefits that you're paying for by not getting ads. So watch what you want, enjoy what you want. If you love YouTube Premium, keep it. You're 100% okay, and it's so kind to ask that question. But yes, content creators do get a little bit. I think I get like $4 or something from, like, in total from YouTube Premium memberships, but I think it's only like 2% of people that watch. So it's a-okay. That's such a nice question to ask. I love it when people think about stuff like that. Okay, that was a lot of questions. That was great. Those are so good. So let's do some news. So here's the news you've been waiting for. I have fall garment make-along winners. You are the first to hear it on here. I'm gonna put it on Instagram later today and on Ravelry. So those will be the places that the winners are announced. Okay, so the fall garment make-along is a 3-month make-along. It is all about garments. I always, like, for now and for the next 2 months, I will always have fall garment make-along information in my podcast episodes. So if you just look in the description box, the page on my website where all the info is, like all the rules, is linked. The current Ravelry discussion page is going to be linked. I don't know, what else do you need? Those two things will be on there. And if I talk about anyone's projects, those will also be linked. I'm not doing that today because I'm going to share the winners. All right, here we go. I'm getting over to my page that I need. All right, so we have 6 winners this month. 3, no, is that right? 6? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. We have 6 winners for this month. 3 are from Instagram, 3 are from Ravelry. And next month we also have 6 prizes to give out, 3 from Instagram and 3 from Ravelry as well. So continue to keep on chatting and posting on Instagram. All right, let's talk about the winners. The first winner wins this is all spread out into like a spreadsheet, an advent calendar, which includes 24 10-gram minis and a full skein of yarn from Ritz Fiber. And that person is a Ravelry winner. And they are post number, oh my gosh, wait. I forgot to say, there were over 2,800 posts in the Ravelry group. Okay, back to this. The person that won the Ritz Fiber Advent Calendar is post number 2,808, almost at the end, and it is Knit Tucson Talk. We're gonna try to pronounce things here. Congratulations, you are the winner. If you wanna contact me on my email account, that would be great. It's knittynatty@gmail.com, and that goes for everybody today. If you reach out to me, that is the fastest way for us to get you your prize. Okay, the next person, Ravelry winner, wins 2 share a pair sets from Mandy's Makings in the You're Invited colorway. And they also win 3 metallic wire yarn ball progress keepers from Crochet Creations, and that person is post number 1080. Nope, yes, sorry, spreadsheets. 1080 Crocheting Savvy. So excited for you because it sounds like you're a crocheter, and so now you're gonna get some sock yarn. So I think it'd be really cool to see some crochet socks. Not telling you what to do, but that would be really cool. Or if you want to learn to knit socks, I'll teach you. Okay, next Ravelry winner, the last Ravelry winner, is going to win a $100 gift card from the Little Wolf Knits. And her yarn is awesome. And that winner is number 1251, Stinkzilla. We just answered one of your questions today. I was so excited when I saw your name. I love it when I recognize people that win, but all of these are random. So it just happens to be like, oh, I recognize that username. So congratulations. Okay, don't forget to email me, all of you. Now we have 3 Instagram winners. The way you enter on Instagram is using the hashtag Fall Garment MAL for Fall Garment Mal. And on Instagram, we had over 150 posts. So not nearly as many, y'all. Post on Instagram, that's a really good way to win a prize. So 150 plus posts. I don't know exactly how many it was because basically I found like the first post on August 15th and then the last post on September 12th, 11th. Whatever the dates were, those were the posts I found, I promise you. And then I started to count, like I was on my phone, so I started to count by like 3s right across the grid. And I was like, after I counted to 150 by 3s, that took me a really long time because my 3s multiples are not very good or fast. And so I gave up counting. But I did go from the last one to the first one, and that's what I'll always do because we are just doing this month by month. Anyway, far less than on Ravelry, so that's a really good way to enter. All right, so our first Instagram winner wins a trio of wool wash from Lily Ray Crochet Company. This wool wash looks so cool, it's handmade. And you win a Halloween pin from Stitchery & Co. by Allison Clark. It's super cute. I have one too. And that winner is at angelfish.stitch. That's your Instagram name. This post was from September 1st. Okay, next winner. I feel like I'm doing something weird. I think I counted wrong. I think we only have 5 winners actually. Hold on. Okay, I figured it out. There are 5 winners. I was like, wait a second, I thought there were only 5 winners because 2 of the prizes included 2 items. So maybe next time I will rewrite this and so I'm not looking like across the spreadsheet. Anyway, this is our last winner, our second Instagram prize winner. You are winning a 100 gram skein of a fall colorway from Sock Journal, plus the It's Fall 20 gram mini set, which is super cute. Y'all check out these makers, they are awesome. And that winner is at, I'm gonna spell it, AMPRZYBYL, Amprisible. You're the winner! You win some yarn. Okay, all the winners, please, if you will contact me, knittynatty@gmail.com. And congratulations! Good job, everyone, on knitting on your garments for this month. And my timer's about to run out. Hold on. Okay, we're back. The camera only records for like 20 something minutes, but I don't know exactly how long. Anyway, congratulations to all of our winners. Every single one of you, you're doing an amazing job knitting and crocheting on garments. It is not easy and you are awesome. Also, thank you to all of our August/September sponsors. We had so many great prizes and all of their information is going to remain in the August-September Ravelry thread. So if you want to go back there and check them out, if you're like, wait, who gave away that awesome sock set? You can go back and check them out. Now on knittynatty.com, I've updated it for our September/October sponsors. There are 6 of those prizes and I think there's 7 sponsors, and they have coupon codes. So if you go to knittynatty.com, go to make-alongs, drop down the menu and go to fall garment make-along, you are there. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can find the coupon codes. And just above that is the prizes all listed out. But I'll share more about that later on. Just make sure you are on Ravelry and on Instagram posting. I mean, it really sounds like you want to be on Instagram posting because that's where it's at. All right, I have a new video this week where I went around to 4 different yarn stores in New York City and shopped for my Shawlography shawl. But I am pretty sure I shared and talked about this in the past, so I'm gonna send you there now. And if I didn't, then we're just gonna cut to the next thing and I'll put some text in here. One more thing from back here in New York, something that didn't make a bit of sense for me to bring all the way to Texas just to show you. I have yarn for my Shawlography. I keep wanting to say Slipstravaganza. I don't know why those are so similar in my head, but if you hear me say Slipstravaganza from here on, I mean Shawlography. So this is the new Stephen West mystery make-along, mystery shawl knit-along that is going to start October 8th. You can go ahead and buy the pattern on Ravelry and it just gives you all like the notes and everything. I went ahead and purchased mine and get your yarn ready, get prepared. It's gonna be so much fun. I put out a video on Tuesday where I went around to different stores in New York City and bought each of these yarns. So if you haven't seen that one yet, you might wanna go watch that first before I just show you the yarns, because I think it's a little more fun to see like the process along the way where I started with one yarn and then went to the next store and then I had, you know, 2 yarns together and then I went to the next store and found a 3rd yarn to go with it. I think that's really cool. So I'm about to show you them right now. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you want to see that one first, go watch that and then come back and watch this one. All right, so here are my 5 yarns for Shawlography. Are you surprised? What? I know, 2 pinks, 2 pinks. So I started out with this one in Stash, and then I went around to 4 different stores 2 here in Manhattan and 2 in Brooklyn, and I found all the rest of these yarns. None of them are from New York City, which is so, like, not what I thought was going to happen, but they're not. And I'm very, very excited to see how these knit up together. I'm actually just even happier. I just got them today. I'm even happier with them right now than I was in the store, because I was second guessing myself a heck of a lot. And not knowing what I was gonna be able to find at the next store was kind of like, I had to like make quicker decisions and just hope for the best. It was very interesting, actually. I've never done anything quite like that before, except that when I did this shawl, I didn't know it was gonna be, or sorry, not this shawl. This shawl, I did a similar thing at a yarn festival, but all the vendors were in the same room, so I could go like back and forth and stuff. So that was a little bit different. But this was like a big, I don't know, it was very interesting and very fun. And I just kept thinking, like, Steven would be like, don't worry about it, just pick, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be amazing, whatever you pick is gonna be fun. And I feel like that's definitely his energy for everything, but definitely for these make-alongs. If you haven't, if you're still considering signing up, I 1,000,000% think that you should, because it is so much fun. And I'm going to be doing some stuff around the make-along this year too. I'm going to be hosting an Instagram live every Friday, except for the Friday of Rhinebeck, which is going to be the second Friday of the make-along. I'm going to be live on Instagram around lunchtime, so if you want to come and just hang out and knit on your shawl, and we'll talk about the shawl and we'll talk about other things, and it'll be really fun. So it'll always be around lunchtime, like noonish Eastern time, but TBD, like I might change it from time to time just depending on my schedule for that day. And then the other thing that I'm offering this year is an opportunity if you want to have even more like of a close-knit community during this make-along, a place where you can ask questions, a place where you can share progress pictures and just chat about the make-along 24/7 throughout the entire make-along. I'm hosting a Discord, and it is $5 to join, and that's it for the whole make-along. And plus we're gonna go a couple weeks past, because, you know, realistically, like, who knows if we're gonna finish it? Like, who knows what will happen? There might be a bonus clue in the middle of the week to mess us all up. So yeah, it's gonna go through October. It's gonna start immediately. It's already started, actually. You could start signing up on Tuesday, and it's going to stay open until October 8th. Well, I guess October 7th, but it's gonna stay open until then, as long as I have enough space. I'm just gonna be monitoring how many people sign up, but we should be able to accommodate a lot of knitters and still be able to chat. I'm gonna be helping answer questions. We have a whole thread where you can just post your yarns, and people can say like, yes, I think those should work together, or try switching this out for this. And there's just a bunch of us that are gonna be in there helping you. And then of course I will be sharing as much as I can along the way that I'm discovering and learning. And again, it's just $5. So if you want to join in, I think it's going to be really, really fun. I'm super excited about it, and I'm hoping that it's just as much encouragement for you as I know it's going to be for me to have all these knitters together in one place working on the same thing. So that's it for Shawlography and for everything here in New York. So sending it back to Texas. Okay, let's do a giveaway. I have an incredible bag here to give away. This is from Cabana Berry Designs, but on Etsy she's paint with watercolor. Is that what that says? Paint with watercolors. I'll have it linked down below. These bags are so nice. I'm really jealous, and I don't want to give this away because they're so cute. Okay, here's the bag. Uh-oh, got a tickle. I haven't done this much talking in like a week. Okay, here's the bag. Oh, look at this bag. Okay, first of all, it is so well made. It's a nice medium size, you know, perfect for a couple small projects or like a shawl or something like that, or the beginning of a sweater. It has a nice boxed bottom, and it is quilted, right? I mean, I don't really know about sewing, but it looks to me like it's quilted. there's so many different fabrics. There's one fabric on the bottom, one fabric for the main, the top fabric, and then look, there's this one inside. And it's got like nice thick rope. I'm not gonna drawstring it up because I'll let you do that first. It's like buying somebody a book and then breaking the spine. You don't drawstring somebody else's bag. I'm just making stuff up right now. Anyway, isn't this bag adorable? It is so, so cute. So if you would like to win this bag, you can leave a comment down below, but I have a specific prompt for you. So if you like watched this video and left a comment and then are watching the rest of it now, oops, sorry, and you want to enter the make along, make sure you enter a comment that says, my favorite Halloween costume is, and then tell me what it is. I want you to tell me about your favorite Halloween costume, but please start it with my favorite Halloween costume is, because that way I can be looking like, I can really easily see like once I randomly pick a comment if you followed the prompt and if you can be a winner. This is an international giveaway because I am shipping this one out, and so I am willing to ship it internationally. So everybody enter, feel free to enter, and just tell us what your favorite Halloween costume is. I guess I mean one that you've worn, because I want to hear about Halloween costumes that you've worn. So one that you have worn. All right, we I think got all of these announcements done. Great, so I feel like this is a super long episode, but let's talk about vacation. So we just got back yesterday from a wedding. We went to Texas in Dallas for a wedding. Kent was in it, and it was great. We had a fun time. We got there a day early and we hung out with some of our friends, and then we did some wedding stuff on Friday. Then we did the wedding on Saturday. Kent was involved way more because he was in the wedding. I just like showed up, but it was a fun time, and I had a great time there. I tried to do some work and I failed. We hung out with friends, which was great, and before we knew it, it was Tuesday. We got there on Thursday. Before we knew it, it was Tuesday, and we came back here. But the fun thing is we actually have some of the same friends that we stayed with coming here to New York tonight. So when you're watching this tomorrow, I'm going to be with friends Texas friends who've come here to New York, and we're going to be exploring the city. So if you want to see some of that, I'm probably going to post it mostly on my personal Instagram, which is at all of this and Nat. That's where I tend to post more non-knitting things. So if you want to follow us around the city, like not literally, but like what we're doing and like the different things we're eating, you know, you always do more stuff when you have friends in town. Make sure you're following me there because I will be sharing some of that. Hopefully we're gonna do some touristy stuff, but we're probably mostly gonna eat. So we'll see, it should be a good time. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, the trip was good. I'm super pleased with the amount of knitting I brought versus what I knitted on. It was like perfect. I almost brought one more project and I definitely wouldn't have needed it. So that's good. I brought way too much yarn. I did film a vlog while I was there, which is probably why I wasn't on Instagram very much, because sometimes when I'm talking about everything I do on a vlog, I'm like, if I talk about it on Instagram, then the vlog won't be interesting. But I did film a vlog, so that should be coming up soon. And yeah, it was a really great time. Okay. Bringing me joy. We've got friends coming into town. The weather is sunny and beautiful. I'm happy to be home. There's nothing like sleeping in your own bed, taking a shower in your own shower, and drinking your own coffee and using your own toilet paper. Am I right? And of course I miss this guy. Oh, I think it is swinging. That is so weird. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, this has been long enough. Until next week, I hope you have a great one and happy knitting. Bye!